Hey guys, this is Owen with Seek Outside, and today I want to show you how to set up the Cimarron 2.0. For setting up the Cimarron 2.0, you're going to need some stakes, the shelter itself, either the optional carbon fiber pole or trekking poles with the trekking pole hitch, and that'll be all you need. With the shelter out of the bag, go ahead and find the zipper. On the Cimarron 2.0, there's going to be 2 zippers. On the Cimarron Lite, there's going to be 1. Real simple process from here. Either to the left or the right of your zipper, follow this hem down at the bottom until you find your first stake out point. Grab a stake, and what we're going to be doing is setting up effectively a rectangle here. So I'm going to make sure my door is pointed where I want it, which is going to be towards the camera. And I'm going to make sure my spot's nice and flat and just stake that first stake in. After that first stake, I'm going to go to the other side of the zipper. So in this case, we're going to go this way. I'm going to make a straight line, again starting to form that rectangle. You want to pull this fairly tight and then just let it kind of fall back. So pull it tight, let it fall back to where it needs to be. Drive your stake in. On the Cimarron Standard and the Cimarron Lite, we're going to go to the other side of the shelter. So that's the other side of the zipper. What I'll do is I'll just simply follow this guy to the cone, and on the Cimarron Lite, there's going to be a seam directly behind the zipper. In this case, on the Cimarron Standard, there's just a zipper. I'm going to follow this and do the exact same thing. Just going to go to the left or the right of this zipper. And I'm going to finish making my rectangle. So you want this nice and straight, a nice 90-degree angle here. You want to pull it hard and let it kind of snap back. Drive that stake in. Go to your other zipper here. Follow it to the other side and pull it tight. Let it pop back. And you should have what resembles a pretty perfect rectangle or square. With the initial 4 stake points set up on the Cimarron, I'm now going to take my pole or trekking pole with trekking pole hitch, and I'm going to just open the zipper here and insert this pole into this cone. The pole is going to go in like so, and we're just going to put the teepee up like so. You don't need to keep it super tight at first. Just get that pole nice and centered and close your zipper back up. With the pole inside the shelter, all you're going to need is 4 more stakes for the initial setup here. I like to stake my door down. So that's just pulling this guy out, putting my stake in, and then I will just kind of go around the perimeter of the shelter. One thing to note is, like, you see how this seam isn't super taut? You can just take your stake and make this seam just a little bit tighter if you need to. Just some simple adjustments there. But I'll follow myself around the shelter, and anywhere that doesn't have a stake, I'm just going to pull out nice and tight. So this guy, pull out here like so, and continue around the perimeter of the shelter, staking out either on the Cimarron Lite or the Cimarron Standard the back door here. Stake that guy out and finish off with your final side right here. Oh, okay. Now, as you can see, our shelter is really nicely pitched. If we need to, we can come inside and simply just click our pole up a click to get it even a little bit tighter, like so. That's going to keep your shelter nice and tight. A couple other key things to mention is our shelters are designed to be guide out. And on this Cimarron, we have a bunch of guy outs. That's part of the 2.0 version here. So if we kind of come around the shelter, we'll see that I have some cordage already attached here. What this is going to do is increased stability in the shelter as well as headroom. As you can see, pulling that out, increasing the stability in high winds and stuff, as well as the headroom. And if you run in any sag, I will say these middle seams, so the ones that are opposite of the zipper, these create probably the most room. These are the first ones I would guy out. Pull these guys out, and you can really yank on them pretty tight. Like our fabric is meant to be pulled on really tightly. And yeah, go around and guy out the parts that you need. I'm just gonna guy out this side of the shelter for an example, and I'll show you a few other key features here in a second. A couple quick features on the Cimarron 2.0 here is our door tie back. So you just roll up your door. If you have a nicer day or you want to keep that door open for ventilation, you have a toggle and a loop located here on the door. Another feature you're going to find here on the Cimarron 2.0 is a closable vent. This has a bendable wire in it, so if you need to close off this vent, you can just bend it up like that. You've got it closed off. I will say, in 99% of the scenarios I've ever been in, I like to keep this guy open to help with ventilation and condensation. Another feature you're going to find on our Cimarron that a lot of other shelters do not have is a sod skirt. This sod skirt helps to prevent drafts, and you can use this in a couple different ways. So as it sits here, it's a little bit off the ground. To really get that sod skirt close to the ground, take your stake and drive it in at a very high angle, so past 45 degrees. That's going to keep your stake point as low to the ground as possible and let that sod skirt seal off your shelter. On warmer nights, when you want to get a little bit more ventilation, which really helps with condensation, simply take your stake and drive it in at a higher angle, such as this, just vertical. And now this has my ventilation where the sod skirt would be touching down. It allows the sod skirt to breathe, which really helps with condensation and ventilation in the shelter. All Cimarron 2.0s are also going to come with a stove jack, so these are hot tent capable shelters. The stove jack is very robust and easy to use. As you can see here, it is cut out for our size of stovepipe. It can be adapted to larger stoves if you don't want to use ours. However, we do recommend using our stove with the shelter. To tie up the stove jack, you just have some Velcro up here. That keeps your stove jack open. To close it, when the stove is not in use, you just simply use the Velcro located here, and that'll keep any kind of water from getting into your stove jack. This has been how to set up the Cimarron 2.0 shelters. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys are interested in more content around our hot tents, stoves, lightweight backpacks, or just general adventure content, subscribe below. If you guys want to talk to the best customer service in the outdoor industry, give us an email at info@seekoutside.com and we will get you hooked up. You guys have a great day.